Dan Kuntz, wake you up in the morning. Dan Kuntz, wondering why you're snoring. Dan Kuntz, show's fun, not boring. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Hi. My good friend Captain M. Tucker Wagner of the Space Force created that about a month ago. When Tucker gets bored, I get nervous, and that's what that's all about. We'll try not to do that to you again. Hi, it's Wednesday, the 22nd day of July 2020. I'm Dan Kuntz, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In for another warm one today, but temperature is going to be a little bit cooler yesterday than today. There'll be a little marine air pushing in. Good news, a little bit cooler, not much, mid-90s. We were 98 officially yesterday, although the temperature gauge on my porch in the shade had at 1.99, but officially at the airport we hit 98. Going to be a few degrees cooler than that. Cooler still on Thursday. Unfortunately, wind, sizable wind coming our way. So keep your fingers crossed on that. You know, it talks about when we get to wind, low relative humidity, warm temperatures, not a good mix. Complete forecast details are coming up. Got a lot of news to get to, including a rather interesting story out of the Chelan Gorge, which of course goes from the bottom of Lake Chelan all the way down to the Columbia River. A rescue operation had to be held there. Some fascinating video, interesting story there. When we get to the news, we got sports. We finally got some answers on high school sports coming up this fall. There will be sports. It's hard to explain, but you'll get the gist of it when we get to sports here in a couple of minutes. And also, speaking of sports, when we get to Today in History, we have some highlights of one of the most unbelievable baseball games ever played, which took place on this date back in 1986. I think you're going to enjoy that. Plus the Obscura Holiday, Mike McKnight's got an opinion, and some celebrity birthdays at 2 minutes after the hour. 73 degrees outside of our studios. Let's take our tour with our look around the valley. Now, yesterday this time, we had some high clouds to the north of us. Don't see any today. Don't see a cloud in the sky at all. I just stepped outside of our studios about 15 minutes ago just to take one more look around. And beautiful morning. Beautiful morning. But once again, as it has been the last couple of days, if you have any kind of outdoor activities planned, you best do it now in the next 2 or 3 hours before the heat starts coming. As I mentioned before, yesterday's high, 98 degrees, a couple of degrees cooler than they anticipated, but still, what's the difference between 98 and 100? Not much, really. The real story yesterday was the overnight low. It only got down to 70. It was a very mild summer night. By the way, sunrise this morning, 5:28, sunset tonight, 8:46. That means 15 hours and 18 minutes of daylight. And in case you're curious, we have lost 15 minutes of daylight over the last 7 days as the days continue to get shorter, but they're going to get hot. Hot today, cooling down, and then it's really, really hot, believe it or not, next week. Yeah, it's July. Camera number 2, where are we off to, Megan? I don't know. She gets to decide. It's a slow dissolve to the Rock Island camera, I believe. A beautiful view of the Rock Island hamlet and the ponds and the golf course. That camera is way up there, by the way, very high in elevation. That's how Sky-Fi works. The higher the towers are, the better off everybody is, because it's all line of sight to get Sky-Fi to your house. Jump off ridge is to your left, Malaga far off into the distance, and the Stimmel Basin, and off to the right, the East Wenatchee Bench. Can't quite see Wenatchee proper, but a beautiful view of Rock Island. Haven't played the golf course in a couple of months. Played it early in the spring, and then I've kind of haven't been there. That's my bad. It's a good golf course. It's a good track. Camera number 3. Ooh, Rude Canyon. Hey, Dan got one right. Hi, Rude Canyon. How are you? So it's up to the north, up into the Douglas County area. Our good friends at Rude Canyon. I bet you those trees come in handy for the shade up there. And of course, it's always a few degrees cooler up there than it is down here in the Wenatchee Valley. But Rude Canyon's going to get some wind. Yep, the gap winds are going to be cycling up late this afternoon, which means all those areas prone to wind, and Rude Canyon is one of them, are going to get some wind. And by the way, the wind's going to last basically from late tonight, late this afternoon anyway, all the way really into Friday before things calm down. And then, oh man, we're going to heave right back up again starting on Sunday. Camera number 4, I believe. Is that right? Oh, it's the Manson Water Tower. Am I correct? Hello, Lake Chelan. How you doing? It's a little breezy up there, as you can tell, looking at those trees from our Manson Water Tower camera, looking out over beautiful Lake Chelan. I think you can make out the state park over there, kind of, sort of. Beautiful view. Hello, Chelan. This has been a hopping. The parks in Chelan have been absolutely jam-packed over the last few weekends as people escape the summer heat and head up to Chelan. Chelan's got 2 things going for it. Number one, it's got a really big body of water called Lake Chelan. It's sizable, so it's got room for people to stretch out and enjoy themselves without getting into too much danger. And number 2, it's always usually just a couple of degrees cooler up at the Lake Chelan area. Of course, it's higher in elevation than the Wenatchee Valley, number 1. And number 2, the water itself is a cooling element for the air temperature. Good morning to our friends in Manson and Lake Chelan on this Wednesday morning. All right, we have a couple of slides to show for you. And as I mentioned before, going to cool down just a little bit, not much, but just a little bit. Take a look. Wenatchee's in the upper right-hand corner. For you people out in the Columbia Basin, Moses Lake, you're in purple there. So as you can see, a couple of degrees cooler today than we had yesterday. Cooler still as the marine air pushes in later on tonight. On Thursday, Friday, the coolest day of the period, actually a little bit below normal on Friday after being well above normal. And then starting Saturday, we start getting warm. In fact, next week, according to the Climate Prediction Center, it's going to be just plain hot. Yeah, very, very warm temperatures. It starts on Saturday. Really into Sunday, we go from 89 or so, near 90 on Saturday to mid-90s on Sunday. Triple digits, absolutely possible. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're talking 101, 102, 103 for the Wenatchee Valley proper, hotter still. In the Moses Lake area, get ready for a serious blast of oven-like temperatures next week. And as you can see, below normal precipitation. So we're going to have a little bit of a break. Mother Nature's air conditioning is going to kick in, and then it's going to conk out. And then you have to call Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling to come and fix your air conditioner. From Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, who gives your home a hug, here's your forecast. As you notice, there's no clouds at all in the forecast. 96 today, so just a couple of degrees cooler from our 98 that we hit on Tuesday. 66 for the overnight low tonight. Cooler still on Thursday. Now, the big thing we want to talk about is the wind. It's going to be a little breezy later on this afternoon. Northwest wind about 8 to 11 miles an hour. That marine air is finally going to push in a significant way later on tonight. The wind will be actually picking up in intensity. Normally it dies down when the sun goes down, but it's not. The wind will be picking up. We'll see gusts 20 to 25 miles an hour in the gaps. We call them gap winds. That's the areas, of course, where the wind can channel into some narrow little areas and get up a pretty good head of steam. Not only the Wenatchee area, but Chelan is prone to gap winds. Waterville, Ellensburg, down in Vantage. Of course, very low relative humidity is expected as well. So the breeze starts kicking up tonight. Quite windy overnight tonight. Quite windy on Thursday. Thursday looks to be very windy. Thursday night looks to be very windy, although it's cooler temperatures, high of 88, which is just about normal. Very windy tomorrow. Northwest wind about 11 to 17 miles an hour. Gusts near 30 on Thursday. Thursday night, windy. Gusts above 30 miles an hour. Distinct possibility. Sustained winds about 20 miles an hour Thursday night. Right on into Friday, which will be the coolest day we've had in quite some time with a high of only 84 degrees. Still windy on Friday. But then that temperatures, but then that cool marine air pushes out on Friday, and the heating process begins. Saturday near 89 degrees, Sunday mid-90s, and look at that. Monday and Tuesday, and probably into Wednesday, highs will be in the triple digits. Again, dry and breezy winds, very low relative humidity, windy conditions, an ongoing issue starting later on this afternoon, tonight, Thursday night, right on in to Friday. Man, we do not need any kind of fire to get going, because with these sustained winds that are not going to be going down at all until Friday afternoon, any kind of fire can really just take off. I'm almost ready to tell you right now that there's going to be a red flag warning, probably issued later on today. If not today, then tonight into Thursday. Thursday and Friday, the two breeziest days, but it's still going to be a little windy at times today as well. So there you go. There's your forecast at 10 minutes after the hour. Quite a bit of news to get to, some of it COVID related. We got some fires to get to, some rescues to get to. The news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I work in healthcare, and we give all of our employees free Works memberships. Why? Because health is important to us. And when people are healthier, they're better at their jobs, but they're also better at life. And that's who we are, and that's who Works is. Works is not just a gym. It's a place, it's an organization that actually celebrates health.
Sorrento's restaurant at Chelan Cellars provides a unique dining experience. The dining room provides a spectacular view of the Lake Chelan Valley. Lunch and dinner are served daily, and the weekend brunch is something that must be experienced and won't soon be forgotten. From the menu to the music, nothing is overlooked. At Sorrento's, you will always be impressed, especially when you discover how close and how affordable luxury can be. It's all within your reach at Sorrento's at Chelan Cellars.
We're back at 11 minutes after the hour, 74 degrees. We just went up one here in the Wenatchee Valley. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 14 miles an hour. Sunny and hot today, mid-90s. Breeze really gets going this afternoon. It's going to be downright anywhere between breezy to windy tonight into Thursday night, all the way into Friday. A gradual cool down, and then we heat right back up again by the time we get to late in the weekend. And here's what's making headlines. Multiple employees at the Wenatchee Walmart Supercenter tell us here at the NCW Life Channel that 17 workers there have tested positive for COVID-19 in roughly the last week. That number of 17 cases is as of yesterday. Employees speaking on condition of anonymity told us that the Wenatchee store has been lax in enforcing facial masks, allowing workers with coronavirus to expose others on their teams. They also say when workers test positive for the virus, the store has not told their team members. The superstore is at 2000 North Wenatchee Avenue. They employ roughly 200 people. The Chelan Douglas Health District said yesterday, so far, it's unaware of any COVID-19 clusters. At the Wenatchee Walmart, a Walmart corporate spokesperson would not confirm the reports from inside the store. He says the company's nationwide policy requires the use of masks by all associates and customers, and says the company is, and I'm quoting now, taking all measures necessary to safeguard the well-being of those inside our stores, fulfillment centers, and distribution centers. Closed quotation. Rescuers used an improvised bridge on Monday to rescue 4 teenagers off a rock ledge in the Chelan Gorge after they were trapped by a rush of water that was released from the nearby Lake Chelan Dam. Here's more on this rather dramatic rescue.
Crews fought treacherous terrain and looming darkness to rescue a group of teens in an off-limits area of the Chelan Gorge on Monday. 4 of 6 teens had scrambled onto an inaccessible rock ledge when a water release at Lake Chelan Dam came rushing through that gorge. Chelan Fire and Rescue Assistant Chief Brandon Asher said the initial report came about 5 p.m. and Chelan County Fire District 1 as well as Chelan County Sheriff's Office were called in to assist.
The challenge was that we had high flow water coming down the Gorge River. They were probably 350 feet down. They were on a side that was pretty inaccessible from that side, and so basically we came up with a plan to use a 35-foot ground ladder off of a fire apparatus, crew down to recon. Kind of gave us a size up of what was down at the bottom. Told the kids we're getting a plan together to get to be able to get across and rescue them. 8:25 is when the ladder got to the bottom of the gorge. Crews were able to use different rope techniques and whatnot to secure it, make a ladder bridge across the gorge. We also had rescue swimmers down at the bottom in place. Our goal was to try to get them across before it was getting dark. It's a very steep canyon gorge. We're on the backside of the hill, so we didn't have the late afternoon sun. But the last of the 4 subjects actually got across at about 9:20. The last of the rescuers was 9:28, and that rescuer actually mentioned to me that he had to turn his headlight on, and it was dark. The timing worked out just right. Then they all had to hike back out up to the road, which was quite a hike still at that that point, but there was no injuries. We did, on their way back up, had a report of a rattlesnake. Luckily, we scared that into the bush.
Kirby Reinhardt, superintendent of hydro operations with the Chelan County PUD, said a unit on the dam had been shut down Monday for maintenance and repairs, requiring the flow of the dam to go from 200 to 1,200 cubic feet per second of water being released. Asher said the teens had to move quickly.
The two kids that had made it across that I was talking with, the one kid was in the in the water when the rush of water came, and they quickly realized something was changing, something wasn't right. I think he mentioned it blew the shoe off of his foot, and so they made it to the safe side. It was clear that there was a lot more water coming down now than before, and that the other four, there was no way they were going to be able to attempt to go across there.
Reinhardt said when the PUD was contacted about the trapped trespassers, they began reducing the water flow, and PUD crews responded to the site. Director of Hydro Operations Dan Garrison was able to make first contact with the teens using a drone.
And Dan's had a drone for a couple of years. He's very good at it. And so he flew it down, was able to land on a rock next to the individuals. They took the note off, scribbled on that they were okay, didn't need anything. They understood that they'll stay there until the rescue team could get to them. They put the note back on the drone. Dan flew it back up, landed on his tailgate, and gave it back to the sheriff. And pretty slick.
Dramatic footage there. A couple of fires to talk about this morning. Firefighters able to quickly get control over a pair of brush fires along highways in both Douglas and Grant counties on Monday. The first fire along Highway 28 in Nature Shore Drive near Rock Island, that happened about 10:30 in the morning. Crews from Douglas County Fire District Number 2 and Chelan County Fire District Number 1 were able to prevent the fire from spreading to nearby structures or getting any closer to the highway. Then early yesterday afternoon, Grant County Fire District 13 and Ephrata firefighters responded to a quick-moving wildfire at Highway 282 and Highway 17. Bureau of Land Management Fire and Aviation aircraft and the U.S. Forest Service crews helped contain that wind-driven fire to about 20 acres and prevent it from getting near homes. The cause of both fires, by the way, remain under investigation. Firefighters from Twisp, Winthrop, and Carlton responded to a wildland fire near the intersection of Highway 153 and Highway 20, just south of Twisp. This happened late Monday night. The fire was reported about 10:30 in the evening, spread from an overlook down a steep embankment before crews were able to limit it to about an acre. The State Department of Natural Resources took control of the scene from local firefighters about 1 o'clock on Tuesday morning. The cause of that fire also under investigation. The Wenatchee School District is offering an online-only option now for students of parents who may not want their children returning to the classroom on August 26th. It's called the Wenatchee Internet Academy. It is full-time virtual instruction for kindergarten through 12th grades. The district said in a press release that parents can choose between the online instruction or return to classrooms in some form beginning on August 26th. The district said the Wenatchee Internet Academy will be taught by certified teachers and includes a schedule of real-time virtual classes that mirror what's taking place in classrooms. Parents can sign up their children for the online-only option by going to the Wenatchee School District's website. Congresswoman Kim Schreier will hold her next Wenatchee Town Hall virtually. The 8th District Democrat will be joined tomorrow by special guest Bob Boogert, who's one of Chelan County's 3 elected commissioners. The online town hall happens at 5 o'clock tomorrow. To get involved on the Zoom call and talk about the issues, you can register through Schreier's website or through her Facebook page. Pretty cool video from a gentleman by the name of James Mason out of Denver, Colorado. He and a couple others were mountain biking in the Rocky Mountain National Park when a herd of bull elk came parading by.
Let them move. Okay, don't move, Nick. Just don't move. Wow, check it out.
Check it out, indeed. In the summertime, females, of course, are busy raising their calves, and the boys, they all get together in what's called bachelor bands. They hang out in the meadows, they eat, drink beer, play video games, something like that. Then, of course, towards the end of August into September, the bulls go into a rut, and that's when they start fighting each other to get the attention of the cows so they can start the breeding process. So it's like your typical bar scene, buddies getting together, having a good time, and then somebody starts a fight over a female at the end of the night. It's never happened to me. That's a look at what's making news at 20 minutes after the hour. Once again, the crew will be doing their thing, gathering the news and disseminating the news and broadcasting the news. At 5, 6, and 10, Eric Granstrom at the sports desk and Grant Olson, your anchor. Here's a preview of some of the stories we're working on.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, as the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise, we'll bring you the latest on what's happening here in North Central Washington. I'll have your slightly cooler North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will have all the latest sports news. All that and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. I always make a point to watch the news. You can watch it at 5, 6, or 10. You can also watch it on your smart device if you have one. We have it up and running on both our, we have a link to our YouTube page and our Facebook page, and also you can watch it on our website at ncwlife.com. I like to watch the news with Grant. I feel when it's all over that I've been informed, and occasionally I even turn the sound on. We love to hear from you, our viewers. All you got to do is get a hold of us. You can call us directly at the number that you see on your screen. You can email us news at ncwlife.com, news at ncwlife.com. You can go to our Facebook page, drop us a line via Facebook Messenger, or if you go to our website, ncwlife.com, we populate it with all the latest news throughout the course of the day, and at the very top of it, you'll see the Contact Us icon. Click on it, form pops up, fill out the form, we'll get it right here. You can either submit a news tip or just drop us a line. 22 minutes after the hour, we finally have some answers about what's going to happen to the upcoming high school sports season. We'll give you those answers in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Hello, this is Dr. Glenn Poey, letting you know that we are open and seeing our current patients and also looking forward to seeing new ones here at 620 North Emerson, Suite 300. Look forward to making you feel your best.
When you or your family's physical health is compromised and you need medical supplies, Value Plus Medical Supply is where you turn for solutions. All of our staff has a medical background, assuring you the highest quality of customer service. Stop by Value Plus today.
Back out of the 23 minutes after the hour, I am Dan Kuntz. Let's talk sports. There will be football. The upcoming school year just won't be played in the autumn. The WIAA Executive Board voted yesterday to create 4 sports seasons for high schools across the state, and 3 of the traditional fall sports, we're talking about football, volleyball, and girls soccer, is going to be moved to the spring. Board President Greg Whitmore is also the football coach and the athletic director at Lind Ritzville Sprague High School. He said it certainly wasn't an easy decision, but it was a decision that had to be made.
We know that the decisions we make impact a lot of kids, a lot of coaches, a lot of districts. And so what we really focus on is making decisions on what we know. And I think today was kind of an example of that. We all felt, and I can't say we know anything for sure, but I don't think there was anyone in the boardroom, or at least on our Zoom call or virtual boardroom, that felt we could get the high-risk sport of football played this fall. We're just not in a position. Doesn't look like the state of COVID and everything else was going to be allow us to do that. Volleyball, the same thing. As you can see in our season 1, we've kept some low, what are characterized or categorized as low-risk sports as options, and we know those are in great peril too. A lot of things have to happen in our favor in order for those to happen. And so we discussed that, but we decided to provide some clarity for our member schools, our athletic directors, our leagues, our districts, our superintendents that are trying to reopen their schools and decide what they're doing. We want to provide that clarity, and that's why we made the decision to postpone football and volleyball and soccer to the spring.
So let's do it. Let's take a look at the 4 seasons. The plan, again, is to go ahead with cross country, slow pitch softball, golf, tennis, and girls swimming and diving this fall from September 7th through November 8th. Then they're going to take a 2-month break before season 2 begins on January 4th. That'll run January 4th through March 1st. That'll be basketball, bowling, boys swimming and diving, gymnastics, cheerleading, and wrestling. Season 3 would be football, volleyball, girls soccer, and boys small school soccer, and that'll run from March 1st through May 2nd. And finally, the traditional spring season would be the traditional spring sports. It'll be season 4 under the WIAA's plan. That'll run from April 26th through June 27th. That'll be tennis, fast pitch, softball, track and field, baseball, golf, boys soccer, and dance and drill. Last month, the WIAA categorized sports into low, moderate, and high risk levels. The executive director of the WIAA is Mick Hoffman. He explains how they match those risk levels with the state's Safe Start plan.
How these sports and activities are determined, they came from the National Federation of High Schools SMAC committee. Their Sports Medicine Advisory Committee made the initial recommendations. We took their recommendations, we melded those with Governor Inslee's, and then we submitted them to the governor's office and the Department of Health. We are under the guidelines of the Department of Health. So essentially, for us to be able to offer one of the low-risk sports, which are the one for the fall are the ones listed on that document, the county has to be in phase 3 for them to be able to compete. For a moderate sport to be able to compete, you have to be in phase 4. And for the high risk, which is football, wrestling, competitive cheer, competitive dance, wind instruments, solo ensemble, you have to be at phase 4 plus, and phase 4 plus has yet to be determined. And so with 22 of our 39 counties in phase 2 or 1.5, and we're frozen till July 28th, it made the September 5-7 for anything other than low risk sports challenge.
Our own sports director, Eric Granstrom, is going to reach out to local athletic directors for their reaction to the WIAA's plan. Hopefully we'll have more information for the news tonight at 5 o'clock. In the meantime, you can watch that entire press conference by going to our website at ncwlife.com. Teams still awaiting the arrival of rookies to training camp this week. The NFL is doing what it can to protect its players from coronavirus. The NFL is working with Oakley, that's the sunglasses manufacturer, to develop a shield that attaches to the face masks of helmets. Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson was a guest on Jimmy Kimmel Live yesterday. Jimmy wasn't there. Joel McHale was the guest host, and, well, Russell Wilson talked about wearing masks.
Do you think the helmet with the mask will work?
That's going to be crazy if we have to do that. You know, I've actually been practicing with it, though, every day just so I can get used to it if we have to. But, you know, we're already out there already, you know, so it's a little bit late maybe for that. But,
yeah.
You know, so I think that, you know, we can't take this time for granted in sense of, you know, health and safety. You know, it's such an important time. And you know, it's really, really important that we do it the right way at the highest level. And, you know, and so I think that's what the concern is, you know, especially for families. And see, like I said, you know, the other day is, you know, she's pregnant, you know, and we're going to have a new baby in the world at some point here. And I know there's so many others, too, that have family and loved ones and everything else. So at the end of the day, we want to play. We want to play, and we want to be, you know, us Seahawks, we want to go to the Super Bowl and win it all. So that's our focus, but we want to do it in a safe way.
And in case you're curious, that video was in fact filmed in Eric Granstrom's backyard. Wilson and the rest of the Seahawks expected to report to training camp next Tuesday. The M's played another inter-squad game last night at T-Mobile Park. Another good night at the plate for Kyle Lewis.
Altavilla looks in to get the sign from Hudson. Seager a lead pitch to Kyle, swinging a fly ball to right field. This one is deep. Fraley going back, looking up. Goodbye baseball. Kyle Lewis with his 4th home run of summer camp Again, he goes the other way. This one with Kyle Seeger aboard. And the Steelheads now lead it by a score of 6-0. What a spring and summer for Kyle Lewis. He was outstanding during the spring down in Arizona. He has carried that into summer camp here in Seattle.
Yeah, Kyle, what can you say? I mean, you couldn't have done more, asked for more out of him in this camp. Said it from day one when he showed up. It just looked a little bit different, carrying himself different, and it has not backed off at all. For a young player and how he prepares every day and doing everything he can to get the most out of himself, it's fun to watch. And then obviously he's getting results now too, but you don't see many right-handed hitters hit the ball like that in this ballpark. And we've had some good ones here, you know. I watched Nelson Cruz here for a few years, and that's not easy to do. And right off the bat, you know it's a homer when Kyle hits it and when he stays behind the ball like he did tonight. So, again, these are young guys. They come with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. They're looking forward to every day, and it's been fun. It's been a really fun camp for us.
Mariners have one more inter-squad game. They'll do that today. Tomorrow they fly to Houston, and they begin their 2020 campaign with a 4-game series in Houston this weekend against the defending American League champion Astros. Baseball returns tomorrow night with my New York Yankees taking on the world champion Washington Nationals. Baseball's almost back. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 31 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday of the day today, the universal symbol of relaxation. Today is National Hammock Day. Doesn't that look inviting? Yeah, the hammock. So grab your favorite book, your favorite cocktail, put your feet up, and relax. Hammocks, they believe, were developed by the Mayans in Central and South America around 500 AD. They invented it for sleeping and resting. Yeah, they're called hammocks because they were made from the woven bark of the hammock tree, which apparently is pretty popular down there. That's how the hammocks got their name. Columbus first encountered the hammock during one of his voyages into the Bahamas. He observed that people would sleep in nests between trees. He said, this is good for ships. So he brought the hammock back to Europe because back in those days, sailors on ships literally slept on the dirt floor of the ship. And they said, if we hang these things up, they'll swing. It'll be a lot more comfortable, and we can cram a lot more people into the hold of the ship. And so that's how hammocks got to be popular in the Western world. Now, of course, hammocks are popular as a thing of leisure. I used to have a hammock. I wish I still had my hammock. Yeah, it just said, doesn't that look inviting? Go lay in a hammock, drink a cold beer, read a book, drink another cold beer. That's your obscure holiday. Always celebrated on July 22nd because it says so on the internet. Let's do Today in History, shall we? Today is the anniversary of the second group of English settlers who arrived in Roanoke Island off the coast of North Carolina to reestablish the colony. The first colony, of course, was established in 1585, but it didn't work out so good. About 100 of them. They had bad supplies. They were plagued by a shortage of things to grow there. They didn't get along with the Native Americans who were hanging around Roanoke Island, and they said, to heck with it. And in 1586, the next year, they went back to England. I thought, well, let's try it again. So the second colony landed on this date 433 years ago. It became known as the Lost Colony. 3 years later, a supply ship arrived to see how the second colony was doing, and nobody was there. Nobody was there. All they had was the settlement. The settlement was still standing. There were trees and stuff growing all over it. No trace of any survivors. The 121 colonists disappeared. Their fate remains unknown to this day. There's all kinds of different theories of what happened to the colonists. My personal theory is they had the same problems that the first colony did, and they tried to ship themselves back to England like the first colony, and the ship was lost at sea. That's my personal opinion, but it's everything from they were killed by Native Americans to UFOs. The Lost Colony arrived on Roanoke Island. To my knowledge, they never made it off 433 years ago. Eat your heart out, Lewis and Clark. On this day, 227 years ago, July 22nd, 1793, Alexander Mackenzie reached the Pacific Ocean and became the first recorded human to cross the continental United States. Actually, it was North America. He started in northern Alberta and made it all the way to British Columbia. This was 12 years before Lewis and Clark crossed the continental North America. Alexander Mackenzie did it first, even though he crossed all the way through in Canada. Still had the same problems Lewis and Clark did. Rivers, gorges, natives who weren't too happy to see them, all kinds of issues. But Alexander Mackenzie made it to the Pacific Ocean, again, 12 years before Lewis and Clark. And finally, July 22nd, 1986, 34 years ago today. Go ahead and start rolling tape on this one, Megan. You're going to love this. This is one of the craziest baseball games ever played. It was at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, between the Mets and the Reds. Nothing much was going on until the top of the sixth inning. The Reds were leading the Mets 3-1. And in the top of the sixth inning, Darryl Strawberry was ejected. He was arguing balls and strikes. You can't do that. He was called out on a called third strike again in the sixth inning. And, Darryl got ejected. This is Davey Johnson, the manager, going down the dugout to Darryl Strawberry. Sorry, Darryl, you're out of the game. You can't argue balls and strikes with the umpire. So Darryl Strawberry, not particularly happy, had to leave the game. He had a few choice words, by the way, for the home plate umpire on his way to the clubhouse. So out goes Darryl Strawberry, in goes utility player Kevin Mitchell. Now remember, in baseball, once you're out of the game, whether you're benched or not, you're out of the game. You can't come back in. So we fast forward to the ninth inning. Howard Johnson is now in the game. Howard Johnson was pinch hitting for Rafael Santana. He was playing shortstop. He was up to bat with a couple of outs. And then, well, you saw what just happened. He inadvertently kicked the ball. In baseball, again, one of those strange rules, if the catcher drops a third strike, whether called or swinging, the batter can advance to first base. And if he beats the throw, he's safe and he gets to run even though it goes down as a strikeout. Well, Howard Johnson kicked the ball after the dropped third strike. He did three things that were completely wrong that you can't do, and the umpires didn't see him. First thing he did was he stepped on home plate. You can't do that. If your batter steps on home plate, you're out. Second thing he did is he kicked the ball that was in play. If a base runner kicks a ball in play, he's out. And the third thing that he did is that he ran inside the baseline. If you run inside the baseline, you're out. The umpires missed all of those things. As you can see, Pete Rose wasn't particularly happy. Billy DeMars, the first base coach of the Cincinnati Reds, was so mad he got thrown out of the game. And by the way, there were only 3 umpires at this game. One umpire was on vacation. They could have used the 4th. So there it is, Howard Johnson kicking the ball, running way inside the baseline. The throw from the pitcher hits him in the rear end. And after a whole bunch of arguments, here he is again, as you can see. Called third strike. He steps on home plate. Then he kicks the ball. And then he runs inside the baseline. All 3 things is usually an automatic out. Umpires blew all 3 of it. The Reds protested, and the 9th inning continued. You just look how far inside the baseline he is. You're just not supposed to do that. And again, Billy DeMars was ejected for arguing the safe call. As you can see, Ron Robinson, the pitcher, wasn't happy. Neither were the Cincinnati Reds. But that play kept the Mets alive in the game. This is when things really started to get cattywampus. Now again, Darryl Strawberry's out of the game. He was replaced by Kevin Mitchell. Rafael Santana, normally the starting shortstop, he's out of the game. Howard Johnson, their utility infielder, came to bat in the 9th inning because they were down 3-1 and they needed somebody who could hit the baseball. And Howard Johnson was a better hitter than Rafael Santana. So Rafael Santana out of the game. Darryl Strawberry is out of the game, replaced by other players. As you can see, Pete's still a little upset about what happened. But again, the bottom line is the umpires blew the call. So the Reds officially are now under protesting this game. It's starting to get just a little out of hand. Of course, now at this point, the game would have been over, and, well, it's not over yet. We still got some baseball to get to. The umpires are still trying to explain to Pete Rose how they blew the call, and yeah, they blew the call. Doug Harvey, one of the most respected umpires in all of baseball, blew that call. Everybody blew that call. Anyway, so we're going to watch the rest of this. There's the Mets. They're like, okay, well, we'll take the base runner. What the heck? As you can see, they're still a little upset. I'm amazed that Pete Rose kind of held it all together after all this. But again, so Howard Johnson was declared safe. He's on first base. Still no real damage done. It's still 3-1 Cincinnati. So they're still in the driver's seat, and it is the top of the ninth inning. They just need one more out to end the game. They're still arguing about that. Still arguing. Baseball's got a lot of conversations going on. But again, we just started to get to the craziness of this amazing baseball game. So now, here we go. Keith Hernandez is up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Keith Hernandez, the lefty. All the Reds need is one more out, and this game is over. Hernandez flies to right field. Gold Glove Dave Parker drops the ball. An easy fly ball. Both runners score, and now it's 3-3 with 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning. Julio Franco, the pitcher there, the relief pitcher, he's not real happy. Dave Parker, who won a couple of Gold Gloves in his career, he's not happy. He just blew the game. Fast forward to the 10th inning when Davey Johnson, here it is again. I just can't believe. All you have to do is catch the fly ball, Dave, and the game is over. But the nuttiness has really just begun. Catch the ball, Dave. Doink. Yeah. Oh, poor Dave. Anyway, so the game went to extra innings. In the 10th inning, Davey Johnson sent in Rick Aguilera. He was walking. Now we fast forward to Eric Davis, who steals third base, gets into a fight. Ray Knight punches him. Now we got ourselves the good old-fashioned baseball brouhaha. As you saw, Eric Davis bumped into third baseman Ray Knight. Ray Knight reciprocated by punching Eric Davis in the jaw, and the fight was on. Ray Knight, as you may imagine, was ejected. Eric Davis was ejected. He was ejected for apparently trying to strike Ray Knight in the fist with his chin. Kevin Mitchell gets involved. He's tearing it up pretty good. Kevin Mitchell is ejected. Mario Soto, the pitcher for the Reds, is ejected. So to recap, Eric Davis, Ray Knight, Kevin Mitchell, and Mario Soto were all ejected after this crazy brawl in the bottom of the 10th inning. I still don't know why Eric Davis was thrown out of the game. All he did was allow himself to get punched in the jaw by Ray Knight. So after all the dust was settled, the Mets now don't have a third baseman anymore, and they don't have a right fielder because Kevin Mitchell had come in for Darryl Strawberry to play right field. Kevin Mitchell has just been thrown out of the game, and so now they don't have a backup third baseman because Howard Johnson, their backup third baseman, had been moved to shortstop when they took Rafael Santana out of the game. I told you this gets a little nuts. So now, what are you going to do if you're Davey Johnson, the manager of the Mets? You don't have a third baseman anymore, and you don't have a right fielder anymore. This was a serious brawl. This was bad news. There were eventually fines and suspensions, as you might imagine. So, in case you're keeping track now, that's 7 ejections in this game. 2 for arguing, 5 for fighting, and we still got a baseball game to go. So the Mets, again, they don't have a third baseman. So what do? For the rest of the game, Jesse Orozco and Roger McDowell took turns pitching, and Gary Carter, the catcher, moved to third base. He had played third base 1 game in his entire career. Pete Rose is mad because Jesse Orozco, who has already been pitching, was allowed to warm up again because he was playing in the outfield. He can't do that either, so there was another protest. So Gary Carter moves to third base. Roger McDowell comes in to pitch. Jesse Orozco, the relief pitcher who was already on the mound, moved to the outfield. And for the rest of the game, Jesse Orozco and Roger McDowell took turns pitching. If a right-hander was up, Roger McDowell pitched and Jesse Orozco played in the outfield. If a lefty was batting, Orozco pitched and McDowell played in the outfield. Eventually, in the top of the 14th inning, Howard Johnson hit a 3-run home run. The Reds went down in the bottom of the 14th in a game that lasted almost 5 hours. Final score, Mets 6, Reds 3. Baseball. You gotta love it. Let's do some birthdays. The matriarch of the Kennedy family, Rose Kennedy, born in the state in 1890, lived to the age of 104. Of course, she was the mother of President John F. Kennedy and the mother of Senators Robert F. Kennedy and Teddy Kennedy. She outlived 4 of her 9 children. Her husband was quite known for his numerous affairs. Rose Kennedy didn't take to that too well, as you might imagine, but she held it together and lived to be 104. Rose Kennedy, born in the state in 1890. We want to wish Bob Dole a happy 97th birthday. There's the good senator, Bob Dole. He was a congressman from Kansas, served in the United States House of Representatives from 1961 to 1969, and then, of course, some senator from 1969 to 1996. He was the GOP nominee for president in 1996, lost to Bill Clinton, and as vice president in 1976. The great Bob Dole, a war hero, too. He's 97 years old today. Alex Trebek is 80 years old today, suffering, of course, as you know, fighting stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He is 80 years old today. His autobiography was just released yesterday. I understand it's a very good read. Alex Trebek, 80 years old today. Best of wishes to you, Alex. He's been hosting Jeopardy since 1984. Danny Glover is 74 years old today, probably best known for the Lethal Weapon series of films, but he has another interesting claim to fame, Danny Glover does. He was the Grand Marshal of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival Grand Parade sometime in the early 90s. I can't remember the exact year. It was in the early 90s, 91, 92, 93, something like that. The Apple Blossom Festival went through this period where they brought in celebrities. Danny Glover, Vicki Lawrence, Jerry Mathers, Shirley Jones, they all came. They were all Grand Marshals. And Danny Glover was the Grand Marshal of the parade one year. Happy 74th to Danny Glover. Don Henley, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, class of 1998, with, of course, the Eagles, drummer, singer, teamed up with his good buddy Glenn Frey to form the Eagles in the early 1970s. Don Henley is 73 years old today. And the man who would be king, Prince George of Cambridge, is 7 years old today. He is the oldest child of Prince William and his wife Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge. So he's third in line to the British throne. He will eventually become king. His grandfather, Prince Charles, is still waiting for mom, followed by his father, Prince William, and then finally he. So one of these days, after my time on this planet is done, that kid will be King of England. Best of luck to him. 47 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got an opinion from Mike Magnotti. You're watching Wake Up on Angie Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
As you all know, our community is suffering under the weight of this global pandemic.
We are collaborating with regional healthcare providers and community leaders to collect accurate information on the number of COVID-19 infections in our region in order to meet the requirements for reopening.
To collect this information, we need community members to volunteer to be tested for COVID-19.
Data from these tests are vital to getting our region's businesses open again and helping us manage future spikes in infection, protecting our community members while also keeping the economy open.
Testing is voluntary and results are completely confidential. Look for more information about this testing in your mailbox.
We value your individual health and the health of our communities. Thank you for doing your part to keep us healthy and resilient.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3, so come on out and join us.
JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local sports broadcasts. They've been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, risks, and accomplishments. At JDSA Law, they salute our local athletes and wish them well on another excellent season of competition.
Few things strike fear in the human heart, like the possibility of a rattlesnake bite. Dogs can encounter rattlesnakes on their walks or in their yards, and being curious, often get bitten on their face, neck, and legs. Luckily, a vaccination is available to help neutralize venom so dogs experience less pain and swelling. Even if your dog has received a vaccine, you still need to seek immediate help. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff of Paws and Claws care about your pet's health. Call 888-PAWS to schedule your vaccination today.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the Doghouse?
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. This fall, be still my heart, but we have Donald Trump running against Joe Biden. Trump the pig against Creepy Joe. Good grief, America, is this the best we can do? Why is it that over the recent years we've had horrible choices to make when there are, I believe, competent, capable people of integrity who many of us would be happy to vote for? Like Condoleezza Rice, for example. I'd vote for her in a heartbeat. But I suspect that when her term as Secretary of State was done, she had the brains to flee the swamp and get out of Dodge. Now, maybe that's the problem. The smart, intelligent, and capable people don't, they don't want the job. That could be it. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. Bubbly, sparkling water. Crack a smile.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
Good to see you again. Got a few minutes left on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's take a look at the forecast. First of all, we're going to cool down a little bit. Some marine air is going to start easing its way into the inland northwest. So Wenatchee is on the upper right-hand corner. Moses Lake for you folks on the basin down below. So a little cooler today. It was 98 yesterday. It will be mid-90s anyway today. It's not a big cool down, but certainly for some people cool enough. And as you can see, we get cooler still on Thursday. The coolest day will be on Friday. That's when the marine air will really be hanging around. In fact, we're going to go from well above normal. We were near triple digits yesterday to actually below normal in just a couple of days. And then the heat up begins in earnest on Saturday. And by the time we get to early next week, we are talking temperatures in the triple digits. Yeah, I kid you not. The warm-up begins really on Sunday. We're going to jump up a good 5 or 6 degrees for the afternoon high on Saturday compared to Sunday. Sunday will be back in the mid-90s again after our brief cool down with Mother Nature's air conditioning kicking in. And then Monday, we're going to be near triple digits. Tuesday, near triple digits. Long-term forecast, near triple digits. So get ready for more hot weather. And we mean dangerously hot next week. For Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, we want to give you the forecast one more time. The one thing that we don't really show here, as you can see, it's going to be sunny and hot and 96 degrees. Gap winds are going to come up again. It's going to happen late in the afternoon. Right now, the wind is out of the west-northwest at about 15 miles an hour, and it's going to be breezy at times today. Picks up in intensity tonight. Normally, in the overnight hours when the sun goes down, the winds die down, but that's when the marine air really starts to move in. It's going to be overnight tonight, so the wind will be picking up in intensity as you're sleeping. We could see gusts above 20, 25 miles an hour tonight with an overnight low of 66 degrees. As you can see, considerably cooler on Thursday, right about normal, our high of 88, but it's going to be windy all day tomorrow. Not just for Wenatchee, but for Chelan, Waterville, Leavenworth could see some wind, Ellensburg. Get ready for some serious wind on Thursday, considerably cooler still. Friday, cooler still with a high of 84. But the problem is, of course, as we talk about this, dry conditions, very low relative humidity, breezy winds, and the wind is going to be with us basically late this afternoon all the way through on Friday. It's been an abnormally windy summer and late spring this year. I can't remember the last time we had this much wind. In any event, we're going to have to deal with wind starting later on today all the way through Friday. By Friday night, the marine air moves out. It's going to allow for another high-pressure ridge to establish itself. That's why we warm up 5 degrees. Compared on Saturday compared to Friday. We're going from 84 to 89. And then, whew, here we go. 96 on Sunday, 102 Monday, 102 Tuesday. If your air conditioner broke down, you better get her fixed right now. And again, the big concern, a combination of gusty winds, low relative humidity, and warm temperatures. I would not be surprised at all if later on today we have a red flag warning being issued. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.